the days, really? We
I took off all last week too, so like.
So did I, so I'm just now getting back. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Equalization. It's Tuesday, November 30th at 3:01 p.m. The Nebraska Opens Meeting Rules are on the north wall. We have all 5 commissioners present: Burmeister, Klug, Warren, Mixon, and Kelly. County Administrator Dan Hoynes. County Clerk and Register of Deeds Deb Houghtaling. I think we have our County Treasurer Trace and our County Assessor Dan Pittman. If you would, silence your cell phones and stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
2 items on the consent.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Klug. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Okay, 1 item on the regular agenda. There's tax corrections 16905 through 918. We got a good roll-up from our county attorney on those. Dan Pittman, County Assessor.
Good afternoon. The state of Nebraska, the Department of Revenue has the authority to audit all the financial information supplied to the county for the homestead exemption, and then go back a couple of years and make corrections. And in this case, they've reduced the amount of benefit for the homestead exemption by varied amounts.
So they basically looked at the income that was reported on the form to the county, and then they audited that to what they're seeing on either tax returns or whatever information they're seeing.
That's how I understand it.
Right, okay. So they're auditing the income that's being reported, and they're reducing the benefit based off of that.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Dan, I have a question on homestead exemption for disabilities, veteran disabilities. So when somebody comes in and applies for homestead exemption because they're 100% disabled, do they have to show proof from the Veterans Administration that they have that disability rating?
We have to have some proof on file, and there is a requirement to have that renewed every so often, so we have something current on file, because it's my understanding that disability can change, and so that's why it has to be resubmitted.
Yeah, I don't know. Commissioner Burmeister asked me. I've never heard of a circumstance where somebody went from 100% disabled to something less than that. Trace, have you ever heard of that?
Yes, sir, they have. So there's some temporary disabilities. Say someone went in for a service-connected knee surgery and got a knee replacement, they would get a temporary 100% disabled for a year or 13 months. And then that way they would be eligible 1 year, and then it would drop off. They wouldn't be eligible.
Okay.
What if they're 100% permanent? Is that a reviewable something in the military, or is it typically that isn't changed?
If they're permanent in total, normally there would not be a review of that unless they filed another claim, and then they could, for a condition that could reopen the claim, and they would look at it and say, oh, you've gotten better, and they could be reduced. But normally, no, if they're permanent in total.
So, Dan, do we give a homestead exemption to somebody on a temporary disability? I mean,
Yeah.
As long as they still have that disability and it's valid, yes. And that's where you get your doctor's note, so you know that they have a valid disability.
okay. I'm asking these questions because we're looking at legislation next year that's going to help the veterans not have to reapply on an annual basis once they have a permanent disability, I guess I'd call it. But I wasn't aware of this temporary one, so.
As long as, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but as I got educated by your folks, so they're really good. As long as they're 100% disabled by 1 January and they own the house, then they're eligible for it, even if they drop off in February of the year or January 15th.
Yeah. And we don't get that many complaints about that. The ones that we do get complaints from, we get loud complaints. But otherwise, other people say, hey, I'm just happy to get the break. I'll give you what you need. So.
Okay,
We did get a lot of complaints in the Veterans Office for people who are permanent in total, and they're probably not going to change. Why do I have to apply for this every year? You know, we do
Yeah.
get that, but.
We'll try to address that for him. Okay, we got a good roll-up from the county attorney on these tax corrections. Any other questions for Dan or county attorney? Motion, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Burmeister, second by Klug. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Okay, all agenda items have been addressed as published, and the Board of Equalization is adjourned. We'll roll into the County Board of Commissioners meeting now. It's still Tuesday, November 30th. It's 3:07. All 5 commissioners are present, along with our county administrator and our county clerk, and the Open Meeting Act rules are still on the north wall of the county boardroom. Commissioners' comments. Commissioner Burmeister.
I have none, thanks.
I think I mentioned a game last week, and Gretna was Class A champions for the state. Danny, thank you for the Go Dragons, and just congratulations to the team and to the boys. It was a well-fought game.
No comment.
Dan.
I'd like, Mr. Chair, to defer my comments to Donna Lynham, our Planning and Building Director. She has a guest, well, not a guest, a new employee she would like to introduce to the
Okay,
board.
Donna, welcome.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to introduce our new building official, Don Simon. He started on November 8th, but due to everything going on, just now getting to a county board meeting to introduce him. So I'll let him tell you just a little bit where he comes from.
Okay, thank you, Donna. I'm Don Simon. I am somewhat from the area. I grew up in South Omaha. I have lived in La Vista, Papillion, and Ralston, but I have spent the last 10 years as the chief building official and certified floodplain manager of Fremont. So we had quite the flood, as well as you all did here. So I'm quite familiar with the protocol that FEMA requires. Been in the same business for 40 years, have a construction engineering degree from UNO, played football at UNO, and I look forward to working here with you all, with the county, and see what we can bring. Some of the things that brought me here was a lot of the growth. It's very exciting how much is going on. It's almost incredible. You know, considering the stuff we did in Fremont also, we had some big things going on with the chicken plant and now some cold storage and just plain development. That sprung a bunch of different kinds of development, including workforce housing and some other lakefront developments. But other than that, I just look forward to working with everybody here, and thanks for adding me to the group.
So Don,
Welcome aboard.
Don, of all the cities you lived in, which was the best? Said of all the cities you lived in, which one was the best?
Probably south of.
Yeah, you don't have to answer that.
South Omaha?
You don't have to answer. It should be in Sarpy County if you choose to answer.
There's parts of South Omaha that are Sarpy
South
County.
Omaha, but
UNO grad in South Omaha, we got it made.
actually they were all great cities. All of them were equal.
And he's now announcing his
Equal.
candidacy for a political office.
That's right.
I did work in La Vista, though, for 10 years prior to Fremont, doing the same things. We did the Cabela's, all that was brand new out there. So it's just kind of exciting to be involved with some new projects, some big projects, Facebook, and just the growth. It's kind of exciting. Growing up close to here, Sarpy County was a place we used to come and, you know, shoot our shotguns and stuff. And now it's very, very busy. All the streets and 370, it's just incredible. But thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome. Okay, 8 items on the consent agenda. Any of the commissioners want to see one of those moved? If not, a motion to approve is published.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, motion by Warren, second by Burmeister. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Okay, we've got 4 items on the planning and zoning agenda today, and I believe that's all we have on the agenda today. So I'll read the first two into the record. They're related. We'll vote on them separately. The first one's a public hearing and Resolution 410 for a special use permit for a commercial recreation and camping area out on Vincel's Island, about 252nd and Harrison Streets, kind of, in the vicinity, south of there, actually. And then 5.2 is Resolution 411, which is the development agreement between BSRE, who owns the development limited, LLC, and Sarpy County. That one I'll let Nicole cover. This one, the first one, the special use permit, will be briefed by Jason Kubicek.
Thanks, Commissioners. Good afternoon. BSRE LLC is the applicant and landowner. They're requesting a special use permit to allow for a commercial recreation and camping area in the agricultural farming zoning district and within the floodway on the northern 500 feet of the western part of tax lot 15 and section 28, township 14 north, range 10 east of the 6th prime meridian, Sarpy County, Nebraska. The property is generally located 2.5 miles south of Sarpy County zoning regulations based on the operational plan and comments made in the Planning Department recommendation report. If you have any questions, let me know.
Questions for Jason? Hey, Jason, I have one question. There's some other campsites on Vincel's Island, I think further south, right?
Further north.
North?
North.
Are they this, is there seasonal time
Yeah.
defined by the same dates?
The season is defined by the same dates, which is a part of our floodplain development regulations.
1 April to 31 October?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
How big is the total property?
20 acres?
Well, no, the total property that the group bought, the whole Vincel's Island after the flood.
21.75 acres.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then any remaining structures on the property?
There is one to the south. That's the landowner's cabin. So that one was the only one that survived the flood.
Okay, because it used to have a lot of rentals, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and now that's all gone. Other
Yeah.
than 5 campsites, plus the other campsites, plus the landowners.
Yeah. So it'll be these 5 campsites to the north, and then the one cabin down to the south. It's past that pinch point that I kind of talked about in the comments.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And this is just 5 pads.
Yeah, 5 pads, 50 by 100 feet.
And I see that there's an evacuation plan there, but you're confident in there being a safe exit in the event of a storm or something like that?
Yeah, we haven't had much trouble with getting out on that road that goes out through 252nd. If we've got enough warning to get through, and he's got a good communication system in place for that.
Thanks.
Floods in that area are not like a wall of water.
Yep.
They start shallow and they slowly rise. So,
Just need a couple boats.
yeah.
All right.
Anything on the subdivision agreement?
And also, this agenda, the special use permit is a public hearing, so we want to make sure to open that. But I have a comment on the special use permit. I provided, based upon the updated recommendation, I provided Commissioner Warren some sample motion language, and because it was last minute, I forgot one thing. So, I know, I'm sorry. Sorry, Madam Clerk. For this agenda item, you would want to, so the proposed language would be approving the resolution with one of the changes, and he's got that in the memo, and it would be that the use shall be limited to seasonal only. The additional piece would be the applicant provide an updated operation plan, removing the lease language, and that way we'll make sure we have the updated operation plan connected to the special use permit documents. I remembered it in the development agreement, but forgot it here. If the board does want to approve that language. Any questions on that piece?
Do we have that language?
Yeah.
I've
You
just,
have it.
Nicole, excuse me, will you give me, you have a provided updated plan, and then what did you say after that?
removing the lease language.
Thank you, okay,
Yeah.
I got it, thank you.
Sorry for on the fly up here. Regarding the development agreement, well, first, were there any questions related to that comment? Again, sorry for the
Okay,
change up here. The development agreement basically outlines, what we expect of the applicant, and it gives us not only special use permit power, but it gives us contractual ability to go in and, take any action that we need to against the landowner if there's any problems there. We also outline just that it's, there's a private roadway on our right-of-way, and so we just outlined some terms related to that. And there is also, because of the new updated recommendation, there is a change there, 2 changes, which he's got, Mr. Warren has the language, which I'm not going to edit, but essentially, in the development agreement, we change it to the seasonal use language, which Jason Kubitschek described, as well as provide an updated operation plan. And all the everything that I provided to you earlier, Commissioner Warren, is accurate, so that you don't have to change the motion. There's a lot of words. Does anyone have questions?
Any questions on the development agreement? Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Nicole. Okay, 410 is, at least a special use permit is a public hearing. Does anybody want to come forward and address the board on this matter, for or against?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, good afternoon. David Levy, Baird Home Law Firm, 1700 Farnham Street, Omaha, legal counsel for the applicant. Really just want to thank the staff for all of their work on this, Donna and Jason and Nicole, and I probably forgot somebody. It's been quite a process for 5 campsites, but we really appreciate it. It's been a good process, and we're glad to be here. We appreciate the amendment that everybody's agreed upon, and with that amendment, satisfied with the recommendation, appreciate and would welcome your votes in favor of the amended language, and happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to address the board? Okay, then I'll close the public hearing, and we'll vote on these 2 matters. The first one being Resolution 410.
hold on just a minute, so you're gonna, okay.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion, or an amendment to the motion number 410, is change the resolution condition 8 so that it shall read, the use shall be limited to seasonal use only.
And are you adding that language too?
You want that, is that where you want it? Yeah. And I want whatever Nicole said.
And I have it, and you're gonna.
I want that the applicant shall supply an updated operational plan,
Removing the lease language.
removing the lease language.
Thank you. And again, sorry for the
Whatever else
last
she
minute.
says.
And the
jam.
clerk agrees with Nicole. We got it, we got it. Okay,
Just do that for the rest of next year.
are you moving that, Commissioner Warren?
Yes, I
Okay.
did, yeah,
Thank
thank you.
I have an amended motion by Commissioner Warren. Is there a
Did you
second?
hit it?
Yeah, I'll make the motion and an amendment.
Okay. So,
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I'm putting 2021-410 before the group and with an amendment.
Sure, I think
Yes,
it's really
I
just
agree.
you're moving to approve the resolution with some
As
amendments.
Amended, yeah,
Yeah,
changes.
so,
Yeah, I'm not cutting you any slack next year.
okay.
Sorry.
As
Oh.
expected.
Would that be an amended motion then?
yeah.
No,
No,
No.
just,
That is
just
the
As
It would be approving the motion with the changes.
approving the resolution with the
Right,
changes.
yeah, or approving the resolution with the
But you're-
changes.
Are you,
Okay.
are you amending it from the first one, though? Because
The change.
they're amending your
We're
first
amending the-
resolution that we showed on the public, or out on this. So I think they want to approve this resolution as amended with the following language.
Correct.
And I have the language. So,
Correct.
okay, so if you just make a motion and hit your button, we're good.
I'll second that motion.
Oh, good.
Okay, so motion
Sorry
by,
for the confusion.
motion by,
or any slack either.
motion by Warren and a second by Burmeister.
Well, wait a minute, how come?
Is there
Gonna move
any
it.
other questions?
All right.
If not, please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Okay, 5.2, 411. Development agreement.
I'm just going to stay up here because
I'm going to move the adoption of Resolution 2021-411 with the following amendment, that in Section 4 of the development agreement, it shall read seasonal use. The use shall be limited to seasonal use only. And number 1 of the site rules and regulation and operation plan shall be deleted the sentence, the sites will be rented out on a seasonal basis, and instead say the sites shall have a rental season that runs from April 1 to October 31, the camping season.
correct.
We got it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion with changes by Commissioner Warren. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Klug. Discussion. Please vote.
Ayes 5, nays none, motion carries.
Terrific. All right, we have 2 items left, and they're also related. But I think I'm just going to do them separately, because the first one's a public hearing. It's the final plat. It's Resolution 412, and it's the final plat for a subdivision to be known as Sunset Meadows. It's out on 204th and Harrison Street. The applicant is Woodsonia, 204 Harrison LLC. Jason.
Thank you, Commissioner. Woodsonia 204-Harrison LLC is requesting approval of a final plat for a subdivision to be known as lots 1 through 327 inclusive and outlots A through K inclusive Sunset Meadows. On June 15th, 2021, resolutions were passed by Sarpy County Board of Commissioners approving the rezoning and preliminary plat. The preliminary plat projected 449 lots and 15 outlots in a phased development. The final plat represents 327 lots for single-family homes and 11 outlots. A 20-foot landscape buffer adjacent to all arterial streets is shown on the final plat. The proposed final plat for the first phase shows 9 non-buildable outlots, which vary in use as post-construction stormwater management, open space, and landscape buffer. The applicant has signed a subdivision agreement with the Sarpy County, which is on today's agenda for approval. So staff recommends approval of the application for a final plat of the subdivision to be known as lots 1 through 327 inclusive and outlots A through K inclusive, Sunset Meadows, subject to the comments and attachments in the planning department.
Do you want to go into this subdivision and it's just house, 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 nowhere to go? I mean, obviously, single-family residents, you're going to have kids in there. So where are they going to play, in the street? So
This is an ongoing thing. In the 10 years that I've been on this board, I can think of Harrison Woods has a swimming pool. Has anybody else approved a park? I don't think so. And there's been thousands of lots built west, and I'm not saying that to encourage it, but the county has always had the position, we don't build and maintain parks. Now, I think we're at a point in time where it would behoove us to go out to the cities and work out some sort of an arrangement where we might be able to collect their park fees, and then those go back to the cities. But I know when I was mayor, and you may have too, we encouraged people not to build parks because we didn't want a community park in every neighborhood because they're high maintenance, a lot of upkeep, and a certain amount of liability. But we did collect park fees, which we then could contribute towards a bigger. So, and I realize this is yet another in a long line, but it may be time for us to take a close look at that and see what can be done.
Well, and I think the discussion, and I just think as we go forward, the county and then with the cities, and I agree with you, And a lot of times you don't need these big parks. A lot of people like the trails, but even just some smaller ones where the SIDs have that, I mean, obviously the city will inherit